The British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Good afternoon. My name is Avia Boulay, and these are your headlines at 3:30. New data from Living Wage BC reports that BC's minimum wage is now $10 below the livable wage in Metro Vancouver. Reporter Arden McLeod spoke with BC Policy Solutions and has more.
BC's minimum wage is not enough to live in Metro Vancouver, according to Living Wage BC. Their 2025 report says housing costs are outpacing general inflation, and the gap is widening. Iglika Ivanova, co-author of the 2025 report, says that according to Food Banks Canada, BC is becoming uniquely dependent on food banks.
Almost a quarter of food bank users have a job. That's enormous. That's much higher than it used to be 5 years ago. We have really seen workers having to turn to food banks in order to be able to pay their rent and not lose their homes.
Living Wage BC notes in the report that government support does help, but it needs to keep up with rising costs. Arden McLeod, BCIT News.
The minority Liberals have picked up one of the opposition's votes they will need to pass the budget and avoid the possibility of an election. Green Party leader Elizabeth May says she will support the budget because of Prime Minister Mark Carney's commitment for Canada to meet the needs under the Paris Climate Treaty.
Against what I had expected to say to you today, I'm going to vote yes. For the country, for the planet, and for my hope in the future. The Liberals can't count on me voting confidence in the government again without delivering on the words I heard.
The Liberals need votes from at least 2 PMs outside of their party or four vote non-votes from the opposition benches in order for the budget to pass. The BC government announced its 10-year plan to improve the province's economy and investments. The plan is called Look West, and it focuses on facing the challenges brought by the U.S. tariffs. Look West plans to secure $200 billion in private sector investments and major projects in double-skilled trades training by 2029. Look West will focus on multiple target sectors, including marine, aerospace, and construction. It will also focus on food processing and critical minerals and energy. Indigenous-led house projects in Cranbrook and Fort Nelson, BC are moving forward. The projects provided by Antiquem Housing Society and Fort Nelson Aboriginal Friendship Society will add 45 affordable homes to the area. Demolition of aging homes will occur in January of 2026, and they will be replaced with Indigenous-designed modern homes. A one-time investment of $29 million was made to the Aboriginal Housing Management Association in 2023, and this development was made possible through it. Its construction is expected to break ground in the spring of 2026. Canada saw a higher increase in housing sales in October compared with September. Data suggests that these are signs of recovery after a slow spring market. According to the Canadian Real Estate Association, over 42,000 homes were sold in Canada in October. Despite this jump, most buyers are still feeling cautious about jumping into the market. The signs that the housing market are pointing upwards is towards a possible recovery into the winter and spring, with stronger sales expected in 2026. A coalition of post-secondary schools in BC are trying to lower ferry fares for students. Reporter Hayden Stewart has the update.
The coalition proposed a one-year pilot program that would change one-way walk-on ticket prices for students. Prices would be lowered from $20 to $10. Vice President of External Affairs at the UBC Alma Mater Society, Solomon E. Kieran, says this push would greatly benefit students.
Pushing for something like this is a great way to help students save a little bit of money, and it's a great way to make travel, to make access to transportation more accessible for students. We're going to keep pushing the government on this and other student priorities until we see action.
The coalition is going to the legislature next week to further talks. Hayden Stewart, BCIT News.
A British Columbia man accused of killing his ex-wife is now charged with first-degree murder. James Plover has faced a second-degree murder charge over the hammer killing of his ex-wife Bailey McCourt last July while he was free on bail. This incident has sparked new conversation among politicians about the need for bail reform. The British Columbia Prosecution Service says new evidence from the police resulted in the new charge. The head of the Financial Crimes Unit at BMO Financial Group says there are some trending scams emerging ahead of the holiday season. Larry Zelvin says that these scams include AI-powered fraud, where scammers create fake retailer websites and emails to impersonate brands or influencers. Other methods include counterfeit products and digital pickpocketing, where criminals use counterfeit payment methods to steal data from phones. Zelvin notes that 2.6% of online transactions in Canada between Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday were flagged as fraudulent last year. The Canada Food Inspection Agency has issued a recall on a brand of enoki mushrooms distributed in BC due to possible listeria contamination. The agency says the Banku Peak branded enoki mushrooms were distributed in Alberta as well. Consumers with the recalled products are asked to return them to the location of purchase or throw them away. Listeria can contaminate food products without making it appear spoiled. Those who consume those contaminated foods may develop symptoms including vomiting, nausea, and a fever. A former Alaska airline pilot who allegedly tried to shut off the engines of a plane while he was riding in the jump seat back in 2023 has received his sentence. ABC's Alex Stone reports.
Former Alaska Airlines pilot Joseph Emerson admitted he had taken mushrooms days before the 2023 incident when he allegedly got up from a jump seat behind the two flying pilots and tried to shut off the engines in flight. Emerson suffers from a rare condition where the effects of mushrooms can last days instead of hours and had been suffering mentally over the loss of a friend. The federal judge sentencing Emerson to 46 days of time already served and 3 years of supervised release. Emerson and his wife cried and hugged after the sentencing. Alex Stone, ABC News.
President Donald Trump has a different message related to the possible release of the Jeffrey Epstein case files. In a social media post over the weekend, the president claims he has nothing to hide and that the House Republicans should vote to release the files. ABC News House correspondent Karen Travers has more on what the president said in the Oval Office.
President Trump said Monday that House Republicans can do whatever they want when they vote tomorrow to compel the Justice Department to release the Epstein files.
We'll give them everything. Sure, I would. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it.
But he said he doesn't want lawmakers talking about it too much because it's taking away from the work his administration is doing. And he said the Epstein issue is a, quote, Democrat problem. The president could order the release of the files without Congress taking this action. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Those were my news headlines, and now on to sports, starting with hockey. The Vancouver Canucks hit the ice tonight against the Florida Panthers at 4 p.m. The Canucks are coming off of last night's win against the Lightning 6-2. Head coach Adam Foote said he's sticking to the same game plan.
Slightly different. Well, it's a slightly different team, but it's a team like Tampa where they're very experienced. They've had a lot of playoff success, as we all know, and they'll be ready for us. So we'll just stick to the same game plan. We want to know what they're going to do against us and how to break it, but we also want to dictate the pace of the play. We want to play fast, and when our forwards are moving, our D get quick ups. When we bring it back too much, it slows it down, and our forwards, they're pretty effective when we get it up to them quick.
Moving on to the soccer field, English-born center back Alfie Jones has taken his citizenship oath and will make his Canada debut tomorrow against Venezuela in Florida. Canada goalkeeper Maxime Crépeau says the 28-year-old is fitting in well.
Yes, it's been quite brief since a couple of days with him, but you can tell right away the kind of person he is, a family man and very organized. And the good thing about him is that he was very fast to adapt to our system, to our principle, and his personality showed that as well in the field. It's just fluid and simple, and so very glad to have him.
Jones is eligible for Canada through his Alberta-born grandmother. President Donald Trump is announcing a FIFA Pass, which will allow foreigners with World Cup tickets to get expedited visa appointments. FIFA President Gianni Infantino spoke with the president, explaining that the U.S. wants to welcome the world for the tournament. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says that more than 400 consular officers have been dispatched to handle the visa demand. The president is encouraging World Cup travelers to apply for their visas right away. World Cup qualifier update here. Germany and Netherlands are the newest countries to qualify for the 2026 World Cup. After a 6-0 thrashing against Slovakia in Leipzig, Germany has punched their ticket for the World Cup. After a struggling start to the group stage, Germany came on top for a match-deciding qualification. The Netherlands also finished top of their group after a 4-0 win against Lithuania saw the Dutch qualify with an unbeaten record. The teams ending second in qualifications will face a playoff in March. It's Monday night, and that means Monday Night Football. The Dallas Cowboys travel to Sin City to face the Las Vegas Raiders tonight to wrap up Week 11 of the NFL. The Las Vegas Raiders head coach Pete Carroll says he's proud of the work his team has done.
I thought our guys responded really well and played really hard the other night, on Thursday night, and I really liked that we were able to do that because it's a unique situation that you're in, and we got to learn from those times when we get them. But this will help too. This gives you a little bit of break on the legs. We'll get a good full week plus half a day today and a full day tomorrow. So we have nothing to complain about. We got a lot of time to get better. Use that.
The Cowboys are 3-5, and the Raiders sit 2-7 ahead of the game. NFL action begins tonight at 5:15. The Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver Jamar Chase has been suspended without pay for one game for spitting on Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback Jalen Ramsey. Chase spat on Ramsey during a confrontation in the fourth quarter on Sunday. Ramsey grabbed Chase by the face mask and punched him, which resulted in Ramsey's ejection from the game. The NFL says Chase was suspended for unsportsmanlike conduct. Chase has the right to appeal the suspension. The Mbappe and Paris Saint-Germain saga continues. Kylian Mbappe claims his former team, Paris Saint-Germain, owes him over 260 million euros. Mbappe argues that his contract should have been reclassified as permanent, which would trigger compensation for unfair dismissal and unpaid wages. Mbappe also alleges moral and harassment compensation. PSG is seeking 440 million euros from Mbappe. The team is claiming damages and loss of opportunity when the French star left on a free transfer. The dispute is being handled by an industrial court on Monday. Those were your headlines at 3:30. My name is Avia Boulay, and we've got more for you tomorrow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
I would recommend this program for anyone that isn't sure what kind of job they want in media, because you learn everything from public relations to communications to video editing, like radio, TV. So you do get a lot of experience in all the different fields in media.